Check, check. Mic check 1 2. Mic check 1 2. All right. So this video, I want to discuss the idea of free will. Do we all have free will? The freedom of choice. Um, the freedom to make whatever decision that we want to make. The freedom to act how we want to act. So, there's a lot of layers to this onion to peel back. Um, let's just dive into it. Like, for most people, the idea is we all have individual free will, right? You're free to choose whatever you want to choose, and every action has a consequence. Like, that's really the general idea that most of us accept to be true. I do to an extent, but when it comes to not having free will, there's actually a bunch of evidence that suggests just that. So, I don't know if you're familiar with the teachings of Neville Goddard, and of course there's others, but Neville Goddard, I'm paraphrasing, but he said something to the effect of his theory was, well, ain't his theory, but this is what his teachings that he shared. Um, Nobody has free will. Every morning you wake up under the illusion that you have free will. You are free to choose how you react to a certain event. However, the events of the day itself has already been predetermined. And at first when I read this, it kind of sounded like a motherfucker just talking a whole bunch of jazz, right? But once you start digging into it and going down that rabbit hole and tapping into the science of this shit, it raises a lot of questions. A lot of red flags will start to pop up if you actually start to challenge your free will, right? So he said that the events have already been predetermined. You just can't remember your association to it, right? Um, you don't remember. You can't recall your connection to it, right? So you feel like this is just you making a decision, spur of the moment, and that's how life goes, right? So, if we start with something just basic, right? Like dealing with free will, right? Just getting something to eat. What you want to eat tonight? You go through your mind, I thought about Sonic, maybe Burger King. I might just make a bologna sandwich in the kitchen. And so you go through these thoughts, or choices and you decide to go to McDonald's, right? To you, you operating under the law of free will, right? Because you're not recalling when you was watching videos on YouTube and then these McDonald's ads kept popping up and flashed in your face, or driving down the highway and you don't even realize these McDonald's signs, billboards are in the air, and you know what I'm saying, while you're on the highway and in alpha and your subconscious is open and programming, you're primed for programming. Like, this is the science. Like, they don't refer to this reality as the Matrix for no reason. Like, this is part of the program that they're talking. Like, this is the fucking Matrix. Like, this is what this shit's about. So anyway, you get that McDonald's into you just had a craving for McDonald's. For whatever reason, you just had a taste for McDonald's. Or it was convenient. Whatever impulse you want to chalk it to. Like, that's kind of what he's saying to an extent. Like the physical reality and our actions and all that shit, like, that's just the last part of it. But this thing was already in play. It was already in motion, right? All right, so let's say last minute you decide to go to Sonic instead of McDonald's. You turn around like, nah, fuck that. I ain't getting McDonald's, I'm going to Sonic, right? So kind of same motion, right? Like, you just still aren't going to recall your what it is that's triggering you to want this Sonic, right? You ain't going to recall the fact that you was sitting in somebody's car the other day and they had a Sonic drink on the cup holder type shit. I'm saying that I'm kind of being simple, but like, you get what I'm saying. So is that your freedom of choice, or, you know? So here's the other thing. This is like, why Sonic, right? So I look at having, okay, freedom of choice and shit, like, kind of like taking a test, one of those multi-answer, right? One of the little multi-answer tests where you can pick A, B, C, or D for your answer, right? So sure, you can choose between these limited choices, but it's like, it still begs to stand like, okay, well, who's giving you the fucking choices to choose from, right? And what you're choosing is based on your feelings. So then, are you choosing how to feel too? And what's making you feel like that? Where does that come from? So that's what he's talking about, was like, you just can't remember, can't recall the connection that it is to the actual event. But the shit is already, like, if the subconscious is running this shit. Call it a universe, call it God, call it a simulation, whatever it is that you roll with. it's running this shit way more than we would like to admit, right? We like to think that on an ego level, right? We think the person thinks that he's running the show, that he's calling the shots, right? And it's designed like that. While the subconscious operates in the background on a subtle level. The shit that we're not conscious to, like, that's subconscious. Or unconscious, still acting through the subconscious. I'm just saying. Right, so you got, I don't know what you be thinking about, but I know that you have these same reoccurring thoughts every day, right? Had them yesterday, come back next day, they circle back through again, circle back through again, circle back through again. All these thoughts and feelings, and a lot of this shit, that we is going on unconsciously. Like, we're not aware of a lot of our thoughts and feelings. But these reoccurring, it's a loop, right? This loop, that's the program that you own. And you cannot have anything, any reality that exists outside that state of consciousness. Period. Your reality change the more as that loop change, right? The longer that loop stays in place and shit, like, this is where when we feel like we're stuck in life, like, right? Get to feel like our life is stuck, and because we've been spinning in that same loop for a while. And the thing is, you switch the loop by. So these same reoccurring thoughts and feelings and shit, that's what dictates your physical reality. So you switch by adding something else into the loop so that it comes into your reality. That's the whole really idea of doing magic to change your outer situations and shit. The whole ritual work and all that shit is you dropping a new seed. You're dropping something else into that loop. You're planting something else in your consciousness. Like, that's what you're adding to. So, but with the loop and these recurring shit, they're recurring because it wants to be expressed, right? Remember, this is what the subconscious does. It manifests. So this shit wants to be expressed. So the idea is that you have to in order to change it, in order to switch this loop, it needs to be expressed, manifested, or released. Right? So we manifest the shit by adding emotion to it, right? Because all of it that's turning in that loop, all of it, we have some level of emotion attached to all of it, right? Just the idea that something is crossing your mind over and over, we have to have a level, even small, some level of emotion attached to that for the fact that it is in motion. Think about all the think about all the shit that you're not thinking about, right? So for you to be having those thoughts and feelings, that means it has to be some level of attachment to that. Like it's part of this shit. So by feeling certain shit with emotions, how we go about trying to manifest the shit, right? And once we manifest the shit, it kind of leaves the loop, or really just turns into some other shit or whatever, right? It evolves to something different then, right? It's no longer some shit we need to do now that we done it. Now it's some other shit that's going to be a part of that loop. But that's nevermore. And this is how the paradigm, how we shift paradigms, right? After we fall out, so get rid of so much shit or express, right? And then we get to allow our pattern to change. And we release the shit that we don't want, because in that loop is full of shit that we want as well as shit that we don't want, things that make us feel good, things that we fear, right? Want to get rid of the shit we don't want, want to release that shit out of the loop, release it by doing the opposite, which would be starving it of our energy or our emotion, to take it away from it, right? Not pushing it down, just letting go of it, and the shit come around less and less. You ain't got to take my word from that. You know that in your own life. It used to be shit that used to just drive you, whatever you was going through, back whenever you was going through it. Might not been able to sleep that good. It used to be shit that was in your loop that you just, and then once you went through it or however it happened, and it ain't in that loop no more, you don't even think about, you forget you even was going through, you know what I'm saying? Like, damn, it ain't even a thought, it ain't even a deal no more. Like, it's a different pattern now, and which means it's a different life, and you a different person because you operating on a different program. That's just literally how it goes. Like, you ain't acting the same way when you're 40 as you was acting when you was 18, because your pattern is completely different, right? Completely different. Anyway, So on the free will shit, yeah. Yeah. It's all tied in together in there and shit. But anyway, I don't believe you got free will to do anything outside your own state of consciousness. I really don't see much evidence of it, if so. Like, yeah. Anyway, I'm out.